Hi, this is Miss Landis here, and today we are finding equivalent fractions with multiplication. This skill comes from Envisions, lesson 8-3. Previously, we were discussing how to find equivalent fractions using area models and pictures, and then how to find equivalent fractions on a number line. So one quick way to find equivalent fractions is to use multiplication. Now, when you're using multiplication to find equivalent fractions, you have to multiply that fraction by the same number on the top and the bottom. So here's an example. Let's say we were finding an equivalent fraction for 2/3. In order to find an equivalent fraction for 2/3, we can use multiplication. We can multiply the top and bottom number by something else in order to get an equivalent fraction. But those numbers have to be the same. So if we were to multiply 2/3 times 2 over 2, or 2/2, we would come up with an equivalent fraction of 4/6. Now, some of us wonder why. Why are we multiplying this fraction by the same number on the top and bottom in order to find an equivalent fraction? Well, 2/3 times 2/2 is going to give us 4/6. 2/2 is equivalent to 1 whole. Any number times 1, we would get that number. If you do 4 times 1, it's going to equal 1. If you do 1,762 times 1, you're going to get 1,762. Anything times 1 is itself. So when we multiply a fraction times 1, we're getting the same fraction, just in a different form. Another example, let's say we were looking at the fraction 1/9. Let's find an equivalent fraction using multiplication. I want to put the same number on the top and the bottom. So you can choose any number here. I like to choose numbers that are easy to multiply with. 10 is easy to multiply with. So if we multiply 1/9 by 10/10, which is equal to 1, we're going to get an equivalent fraction of 10/90. The key thing to remember when you're finding equivalent fractions using multiplication is to multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. In class, we were setting up some like this from our Envisions textbook. Let's say our fraction was 2/4 times something is going to give us, and they would give us a number and then some of it would be missing, so you have to find the missing pieces. And look for the relationship using multiplication. So in my head I'm thinking 2 times what number can give me 6? Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6. Now that I have a 3 on the top, I need to put a 3 on the bottom, because when we're finding equivalent fractions, the number on the top and bottom has to be the same. If you're multiplying 2 times 3, you need to multiply 4 times 3. 4 times 3 gives me 12, and that is my equivalent fraction. Here are some additional practice problems. If you solve these problems at home and bring them to me to class, I will give you extra credit. I'm giving you 4 fractions, and you must find an equivalent fraction. And there are 4 fractions for you to find equivalent fractions. Tomorrow in class, we'll be actually finding equivalent fractions using division. So you can also use division to find equivalent fractions, And if you need assistance with that or would like to preview it before tomorrow's lesson, you can watch the next video on finding equivalent fractions using division. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in class.